Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and a 40 unit save version. And we left off in Sardinia, our hopeful battle to take out Spain. This is Spain's remaining province, and if we take over and win this battle, which the power meter says is against us, but I still have this belief that we can win this one, so we'll see who's right, the power meter or myself. And I've been wrong before, but we're going to take this one on and see if we can't do it, see if we can't eliminate Spain, and more importantly, by doing this, eliminate Spain's fleets. That's what I would like to have happen. I think we hit the demand surrender last time, and even if we did, we're getting down there on the battlefield, so I'll see you down there. Alright, looks like they're on one side of the city, and it looks like we're on the other side of the city. And, yeah, we got hills behind us. I could probably set up artillery up here. I don't know if I want it up close or far back. I haven't decided yet. I'll make that decision. We'll be right back and take a peek at my setup. Alright, we're doing kind of a basic setup here. The artillery is set up on the hill. It covers almost everything but a thin strip of their setup quadrant. So I feel confident that we have the range to cover what we need to cover back here and bombard them from afar. And we don't, if I recall, they don't have cavalry, so I don't have to really worry about them having the speed to get around back here to do damage to my artillery. More than likely, we will be able to bombard their mortars, and I'm going to count on these two regiments here to kind of move through the city and go up against any of their units that happen to be moving through the city. With mortars, at least until I knock them out, I'm not comfortable taking over any building, because mortars can blast down a building and really wipe out one of our units if we're placed in those buildings. But we're going to move up a couple of our regiments through the streets to kind of approach this way and keep them from also using the city as a way to approach. Then we'll stay out in the open with our cavalry as backup in case there's melee that we have to deal with, and go from there. We'll get a sense right off the bat if they're going to be the attacker and advancer versus us. I know most of the time we tend to sit back on defense, although lately we're doing a little more advancing, but for the most part defense is the easy way to win, but we'll see how this one turns out. Let's get this battle going before I start talking for another hour. There we go. They're pretty far back. The mortars are pretty far forward, and that is, in fact, their main armies are basically out of range. So we're just going to bombard their mortars, and we are going to do just what I talked about, and that is advance our line up to, I'm thinking this point along the city, or to the side of the city, is probably, if the terrain will allow me. No, the terrain probably doesn't looks like the terrain is going to be difficult, so we're going to have to take little pieces of our line and set them up. And do it piecemeal, piece by piece. And we're going to get these units moving through the city. And we're going to get our cavalry off to the wings over here. And that's going to be our initial setup. They are actually sending some units to the other side of the city. And it's hard for them to get through some of this terrain to try and get up to our cavalry. So we'll bring... Do I have a way to get down off this cliff? Let's see if I can go over here and come down this way and meet up with them this way. Like I said, most of their units are either garrison line infantry or militia, so more than likely we should match up okay with those types of units. And they are pretty much walking also, so we'll keep at our walking pace, trying to get to where we want to get. So far we have not knocked out a lot of the mortars. We've done some casualties to their men, but that's about it. So that means we're taking damage to our own units right now. I think with that in mind, I'm going to take one of my regiments of horse off to the side, see if we can get around this militia unit. I've decided I'm going to bring this other regiment of horse back in this direction because I do not feel comfortable with the quantity of units they're bringing. Of course, these two might be backing off now. We did some damage finally. We knocked out one of their mortars. But I'm going to see if I can get around this militia unit with cavalry and just manually take out the mortars. I'll feel a lot more comfortable without us having to take direct hits from the mortars. And I do feel more comfortable with the quantity of units they've sent over here to have a cavalry regiment back up on this side. In fact, we'll keep the cavalry unit moving. And we've taken down close, well, not quite half their men, but we've taken one gun and a big chunk of their men out. And this is roundhousing this regiment, so I think we'll be able to charge our cavalry up in behind. No one over here is going to be able to keep up with them and take out their mortars that way. But until that happens, I'm keeping my artillery zeroed in on the mortars. And the line battle has begun over here. Alright, I'm going to make the charge in onto the mortars. I'm going to redirect our cannon fire now to the center right at the moment. Eventually I will switch cannon fire over to this wing to help this advance of theirs over here. And let's see if I can straighten out this line in the direction. Well, the train is not even going to let me get my line set up very well, is it now? There we go. Let's run up to position so we can be in position for when they arrive. Let's get my cavalry over here for support because I have a feeling we're going to need it. And the only challenge here is we got to have our line infantry really do the business on them because I do not have my typical reserve units, and so far we are doing okay on this side, so that's good. And we have taken out their mortars, so we are now secure. I am a little concerned on this side because if they bring all, and they're changing direction on these units, so now I'm a little less concerned. We've killed their general also, so their staying power is not going to be quite as robust. And they're coming through the city. But they aren't going to get up the hills right behind the city anyway. They got to come through this way. So I'm going to park this unit over here to kind of block that path. And I think we'll be ready to handle the militia over here, I hope. And it's funny, their line of retreat is taking them down our line a little bit. So we're doing a good number on them over here. I'm going to take the cavalry out of here because we are getting fired upon by this garrison line infantry. We don't need to take any more fire than that. And the line battle is commencing here, and we should, with fire by rank, we should be just overpowering the militia. And what once was a concern of mine, they've redirected their troops to apparently move through the city a little bit more. Or yeah, there they are, looking at going through the city. So now that we got our cavalry moving, we're going to bring them down over this way. And we might be able to use them to come in behind these guerrillas. That very well could be out of range of our main troops. Yes, they're just out of range of our main troops. They're shooting on all the retreating units, so we do need the cavalry to end the battle on this side of the map, and then we'll be able to bring all these forces to the town to support their advances here. And they've enclosed to melee. What do you know? Time. This is the time to bring in the cavalry. It's like we were knocking them down Yeah, but numbers-wise, they went to melee because they match our numbers in melee. So it's time to bring our cavalry down. I'm glad I brought them over here to help support this side. Or they would have eventually broken through and our cavalry or our artillery would have been sitting ducks. And the cavalry came in the nick of time as the commander noticed what the heck was going on. I'm going to keep the infantry unit here. We're going to regroup our line just in case somebody else tries sneaking over this way. We'll keep the cavalry charging on them. Okay, they are shattered. So now we're going to bring our cavalry over here to help support anything that happens through the city here. And it looks like we broke down the irregulars. They are retreating now also. So let's bring our cavalry back again to help with these units in the center. We do have some... Oh, those are militia. I thought they were more irregulars. So what we'll do is there's nobody left on the wings. They are shattered. They will not come back. We'll bring this infantry unit over here to provide pressure over here. We have our cavalry that we will have back here also to charge on in when we need to deal with this unit and get ready for that. These guys are charging our line. The line will hold, so I think we can bring this unit also over here to give them some different angles to have to worry about. We do have to worry about this militia over here, and I think wow, that's a full strength militia. We're going to bring cavalry in from this side. We're going to bring cavalry in from this side and crush them. They aren't going to know which way to face their line. The cavalry has to come around the hill apparently. And this cavalry is going to have some pathing challenges also, it looks like. Let's see if we can get them out here to help out. And with these units retreating, they're only broken, so they are not defeated. They are not outright defeated. But we're going to bring our lines forward at speed. There's still terrain issues over here. There's a little rise there. We can come to the other side of the rise. Deal with that on a run, so if they are able to regroup, we can shatter them down also. And the cavalry has. We got some shots into our rear, but the cavalry has made a mess of that situation. We can bring the other cavalry over onto the militia, and they should not hold. Now we have this unit essentially just about surrounded once this unit gets over into position. And we will then crush the resistance. And we'll back our cavalry off at the moment just because we forced them forward into our line of fire and they've broken. Mission accomplished. Let's see if we can address their units that are farther away from our gunfire so we don't take friendly fire. Just to try... Yeah, they're shattered now. There we go. We can back off. And this would appear to be their last remaining unit, so we are going to move on in. In fact, we're going to take this battered unit and see if we can't take control of this building here. And rain fire down on this group in the center here. And we are going to bring this unit up right here at a run. And we're going to see if we can't bring this unit up here. And like I said, it's tricky getting lines formed inside the center of the town. But let's run over here to this position. And see if we can't more or less surround this militia. Well, I guess we're not entering the building. We're coming in for melee attack, so never mind, folks. They took a weird path to get into this building over here, and we are melee melee battling the final regiment. In the middle of the city, coming at from multiple directions. We should more or less be able to overwhelm them. They're already faltering. There's the 3rd Brigade, the 3rd Regiment. There we go, and they've broken. And that should be the end of the battle. So this battle that was predicted to be against us and not in our favor did not even come close. And we have victory against Spain. All right, there we go. We lost only 290 men. Great job, guys. And let's take a look at these pop-ups. These pop-ups are going to tell me exactly what I desire. We captured the region, and a nation has been destroyed. Its home region having fallen into enemy hands. The home region becoming Sardinia. Since when has Spain had this as a home region? But we've had our way with Spain overall. They've given us a few minor challenges, but they really declared war on us too soon. When they weren't in a good position to do it. We have no funds because of our bankruptcy. Hopefully we will gain some income back next time. Right now we have a predicted income of 923 next turn, which is pathetic right at the moment. Mainly because of the Russian trade we lost, the Austrian trade we've lost, and we gotta right the ship here. Okay, with Spain out, we're taking our North Sea ships back up north. And we're going to come back and guard our ports up here. The British have taken a land force to sea. The Russians have been active, moving against Spain and others. But we'll see how this all figures out here coming up next turn. But mostly, initially I thought Spain sent a ship up here, and yeah, and the port is burning. With Spain out of the battle, hopefully this Russian port will repair and reopen for us, so we can start gaining supplies from that. And then the Austrian main port is usually up over here. And that is currently being blockaded by the Ottoman Empire. That's why we're not getting any trade from Austria. And there's no way trade's getting through on a land route because Russia's just been barreling through here and cut us off in that direction from trade from Austria. This Austrian Cologne in the Rhineland is kind of isolated right now. Alright, now that we've dealt with some things in the Americas, let's take a look and revisit over here. Okay, we finished this battle. We still have some repairs that need to happen over here after taking over, but we can't do anything that we really want to yet here. And we can't really afford to move out due to the unrest that would take place in this province, so we gotta wait. We gotta play the waiting game, which allows them to potentially build up a little bit. The only good thing is there's not a lot of places from which they can build up, so they can recruit some units locally, and that's mostly all they could do. So I still think numbers wise we're going to be in a good position. Let's take a look at Malwa. And the public order, actually, it looks like we can afford to take our army out of here and move up to this province up here, Rajputana, and see if we can't take it over. I don't see any other threats if we do that could really move against us here. It doesn't look like there's any units garrisoned here, so I think we're safe to move out at this point. Does this army have any movement? Yes, we got full movement on this army too, although they are depleted, but we aren't up against much of... well, we're up against something, but we should outnumber them. They do have artillery. And they have cavalry. No, they don't have artillery. They just have cavalry, and we've proven that we can match up with this force. So we're gonna go against this port force over here. Since there's nothing here to reinforce from, we're gonna take this army to see if we can't take over another province. So let's get this going. Let's take a step out. Make sure public order, it's satisfactory. It's nothing pretty, but we can get out of here and move over to our next target. We're going to see if they surrender. It's refused, and we will do this tiny little battle here. We'll see you down on the battlefield. Okay, looks like we kind of have a hill position overlooking their setup zone behind the city. With this particular army, we do have artillery available, but looks like we won't have really clear shots through the city if we set up in the, what normally would be considered optimal setup on the hill because of all the city buildings in the way. But I still, what I'll probably do is we have three regiments or just two? Yeah, it's just two. Yeah, what I'll probably do is split up my artillery to either side of the city to give us angles that way, and then set up in between, maybe moving a little bit through the city, since we don't have any yeah, we don't have any artillery to oppose us. So I'll get the setup going. We'll come back and revisit the setup. Alright, we are set up. We have artillery over on these wings. We have artillery way down here on the other side of the city on these wings. We have an extremely long line. It would be one line, but we have some hillside spots right here. So the line is reserved behind that. And we kind of have the same setup over here. The line can't go all the way up because of this little hillside here, so we can shoot down over it if they approach us. Pikemen are behind these artillery units. I have a reserve artillery unit even, and it's just kind of limbered up here ready to move to where I might need it. Cavalry, 2 regiments on either far wing, and then a full solid line all the way across of reserve units, even a few extras beyond that. So my goodness, if I can't pull this off, I don't know what's going to be wrong with us. I feel like we got some nice positions with which they have to advance through some pretty tough fire. So let's get this started. And looks like we are set up a bit over here. We got some mortar garrison, and that is where this first round will be shooting to with artillery. And we've already done four soldiers have lost their lives in this regiment, and we will keep pounding them. We don't quite have the angle from our other artillery unit. We're not getting a good sense of movement. There's not a lot of units out there. Of course, I think they have the ability to have hidden units, but they are moving forward towards us. So for the brief moment, I'm going to hang on and hold our position, especially since they're very active right now around their mortar positions. They're landing some hits on our pikemen. Ooh, and we had a blast there that took out one of their mortars. And a one that was a little off aim that did some nice hits on their musketmen. So they're down to 3 mortars now. What I'm going to do, since they seem to be going off to this angle and this side on their attack, we're going to bring our cavalry out from this side. And if they continue to advance past their mortars with this armed populace unit, we will then move in to finish them off once and for all. They're down to half their guns now. So artillery may beat us to the punch, but we have backup plan with our cavalry over here. What we will do, since they're moving in on this side of the line, is I think at least right between this spot. We are going to bring the backup a little closer in. We'll get them ready for melee and deal with it that way. And they're just about pounded out. We're down to 2 guns, but I'd like to redirect, so we're going to start bringing our cavalry over here at a walk until this unit passes, and then we will shut down our artillery, refocus our artillery onto infantry units. In fact, I'm going to already redirect our artillery. We're going to put them on canister fire for the direct threat we have right in front of us. Go boys, redirect, change the ammo, and let's get shooting. And you can see their numbers starting to react already. Down from 400 to 372 on that first round. They're still at a bit of a distance, but now they're hitting musket fire, and they probably will not hold it. The mortars are going to come back to our. Oh, they're kind of hanging. Armed populace. I'm not worried. We're going to charge in with our cavalry, take out the mortars, and that kind of hidden threat. And the armed populace said, "I'm not going to have any part of this," and they're running off. They're getting ready to fire. There they go. They got them shot off. I don't know where they shot to, but that is it for them now. And there's not much left in there. Yeah, there are 5 men. The guns are gone. We did our job. We are continuing our canister fire here. The enemy general has gone down. He was part of that unit. In fact, we have the armed populace. We might as well just keep charging into them because they don't hold up well to cavalry charges if we can gain up enough speed at least. Yeah, they're already showing signs of wavering with their general gone and killed in this battle. So we're going to run them down. Go against... and that's the end of it. I was going to run down the one that seemed to be holding out the best, but it finally gave in too. And since this is a city battle, we're going to end it right here. We lost a whole 6 men. Wow. Are we that strong, or what's going on here? We did outnumber them 10,000 to 3,000, so amazingly well. We are going to repair. We can't do any kind of repairs, so we're going to be a little bit stuck here till that can happen. But we are going to move up, free up the biggest force they have over here. We can get rid of this force. We don't have to worry about anything reinforcing down here. Hopefully we can then repair and get this area in order so we can move out. And then we have these 2 units. So we're going to run our dragoons out here to take on this guy. It says we should win. It says we shouldn't have a problem. And 93 of theirs against 280 of ours. It should be a straight charge on in thing. We're going to try the auto resolve and hope some weird funky thing doesn't happen. And they lost 61 men to our 6, so something weird and funky did not happen. We kicked them in the behind. And we don't even, unfortunately, have any money to even repair these guys with, but we'll hold them in the rear for any other single forces or small forces that break through. So I think we're in good shape. About all we got left is this port battle. I'm going to do a quick check on time just because we did do 2 battles, but I also know they went pretty quick. So I'm going to find out if we can squeeze in another battle or not. So hang on. Oh yeah, without a doubt, we're going to squeeze in one more battle here. Fill this episode with battles, and let's make a move against the port where they have this force here. And we are projected to win. Fortunately, they don't have artillery going against us this time, but we do have cavalry. We're just going to have to be quick when they close in any way, shape, or form, that we can hopefully utilize our square formations to counter the cavalry that we do not have. Let's get down there on the battlefield and see if we can be successful, as I hope. We have some extreme rain, so it's probably, wow, I haven't had to fight in extreme rain like this in a while. That kind of hampers our visibility a bit now, doesn't it? I think what we're going to do, just because cavalry likes to make those end runs, we're going to do just exactly that and try to protect against the end run. Whoops, with our setup facing forward. And go in depth on the wings. We do have, I think I was about to say we didn't have cavalry, but we do. We're going to also put our dragoons on this wing, and we're going to put these 2 regiments of horse over on this wing. But we're also going to keep our depth lines over on the flanks too, because that's where they tend to like to bring their cavalry. And then we'll have these units in the center to provide depth in case of the melee battles that they do like to cause to happen. So we're going to put on saber charges only for those on there. The guys on the wings, I'm going to hold off on putting them totally to melee, just in case we want some extra square formations from cavalry flank attacks. So I think that's it. Let's get this going. And they are lined up in the center as if we caught them in column formation. That's kind of weird. A lot of cavalry massed around, so it's going to take a while to get a picture of how they're going to move. And in fact, just to play it safe, let's get our units on the very edge in square formation right now. Because I'm going to make a prediction that that's what they're going to do with these units. And if we don't see that happening, it's not that difficult to get out of square formation, because any infantry that comes against us really can't move that fast. We should have time to react. Whereas when the cavalry charges, sometimes we're a little slow, we're a little late in making that reaction. Wow, it's really hard to see. Right now we're not getting a good sense of any direction that they're looking or leaning towards or tipping us off on as far as where they're moving. This is where usually I'm used to having our artillery pounding them in the distance before they close in on us. But we're just going to have to be patient. Right now they are looking at a center run with their cavalry. Fortunately, we do have some regiments in reserve there. It's weird calling camels cavalry. They seem to be somewhat undecided right now in what they want to do. And if they continue to be undecided, I may have to bring my cavalry out to kind of see if we can't goad them into, push them into some kind of movement. But right now, yeah, they're moving more on this wing. They're showing more of an interest in this flank overall, although they're really taking their time making that commitment. I think maybe because they're seeing the square formation set up here on the flank. I'm not sure. Whoops, they wandered a little too close here. Do not seem to be able to make up their minds. Let's run our dragoons out here and see if we can somehow entice them a little bit into coming forward. said run our dragoons out. Okay, well, we'll just walk. Now these are camel nomads. These are not their camel gunners, so I shouldn't have to worry about taking fire from them. Okay, it looks like they want to take a charge at us. Let's see if they'll follow us. We seem to have goaded them into some movement finally by bringing our dragoons out. Let's dismount our dragoons. Now they're staying they're staying at a distance also with this strategy attempted. Oh, but they're coming back in. Not doing too extreme damage just because they're at range. So it looks like this this battle is going to require us to commit a little bit. And the way we're going to commit is we're going to take our rear line, our line of depth, and we're going to put them off of melee. So is he going to keep coming forward? Looks like they might commit towards our dragoons, maybe. You know, they're kind of being wishy-washy here. All right, they're backing off here. Let's remount our dragoons. Do just what I was talking about. Now that I got the second row active, I didn't mean that because we're technically firing into our backs. We're going to advance the second line forward, and the back line is now going to be our new reserves. And we'll kind of keep going forward that way for starters. See if we can draw them into this thing. We seem to be doing okay with that tact at the moment. Why don't we move our dragoons once again out to the wings over here? We'll decide if we want to dismount and fire again. We're going to take these units out of square formation. And we're going to press forward on this wing. The line is staying pretty steady over here. Units over here. We'll advance a little farther forward again. We're going to try just keep pushing up as we can over here. Oh, no, we're getting a charge maybe. Are we enticing them to come forward? Then we're going to take our line behind this one. And come forward here. We're going to keep kind of crawling forward this way until we can get the whole line commitment on their end. Otherwise, we're going to keep piecemealing our own line forward. Our dragoons are kind of in the wings, so in case they charge into us, they can kind of delay that charge as we're repositioning. Somehow I missed this unit. Let's get them running to get back in position. It's just hard. I don't like this heavy rain kind of a setup. And okay, we look like we may have some commitment and movement now on this side. We've gotten them to move forward. We're going to have some weird positions in our line, however. What we're going to do is see if we can do some weird connection over this way. We're going to run them up for their advance. We still have square formation over here, and they do have camel nomads over on this wing, so we'll kind of still go with that. And we're kind of keep forcing them back to redo their line. And they just don't want to enclose with us is what's happening here. So let's get these units. Out of square formation, and we're just going to have to commit without the square formation, because as we advance, here we go. We got some camel nomads running into the hornet's nest, running into where they're going to get the worst amount of fire possible. We're going to bring cavalry down to support our flank on this side. We finally got some movement from these guys. Broken in that initial attack. Let's bring our dragoons back over here for the moment. So it's kind of touchy-feely, feel them out, see what we can do as we slowly try repositioning on them and getting the upper hand with lines that are by no means anything traditional. Okay. Let's work this side now and get the line up. And what we're doing by doing this is we're stretching out our line a bit without line in depth that we're used to. Whoops. So we have to hope, and we're going to run this side up. Once again, we have cavalry that can come up, so if we're caught out of position while we're making these moves, we have cavalry that can help us out. In fact, we're going to charge the cavalry up into these camel nomads that are just a little too close for comfort. Cavalry's not quite making it in time. We're going to go to melee here with these troops. And it looks like we got to go to melee with these troops to protect themselves. We've enticed them into what I call our little hornet's nest corner here. We've got some wicked angles of fire against them if they come into it. These units in the back. Okay, looks like we've broken that camel unit. Got another camel unit coming in, so I'm interested in getting my cavalry back out. This unit running away is shattered, and we need to re-solidify our lines here again. This line, unfortunately, is not doing well because we were taking fire from a bad angle. So that little move with their infantry or their camels helped them break through at that point. It's really hard to see. I've said it too many times, I know. It's really hard to see through this rain. Now we have some units in the back that we're going to change to melee and charge in to help support against these camels. And while we are able to fight and fire right now against these horsemen, I am a little concerned about that arrow fire because it tends to be pretty deadly. But we did take them out okay. And we've broken the camels. We can rush in here, but we got pikemen over here, so we're going to back off our horse regiments over on this side. And now we're going to see if we can keep aggressive, put them back to shooting, and get our next push up. Keep the pressure on with these pikemen over here as we kind of leapfrog forward little by little. In fact, we're going to push this side up also with our dragoons taking up the wing here. And this side, that's our horse. So what we're going to do is the same thing on this side. Kind of bring these guys forward over here. Kind of start boxing them in if we can. Moving in with swordsmen against us, we need to convert to melee. We did entice them into battle. Not necessarily the type of battle we were hoping for, but they are wavering and they're falling back. So let's say take our 2 units here, reset them up, get them off of melee, and start firing on these units in the back. See if we can't keep the pressure on, start closing in on them little by little. And the pikemen, we should be able to start out. Yeah, so we're starting to open fire on the pikemen. We made our own little hornet's nest over here again, kind of surrounding them, multiple angles of fire upon them. Let's close in, guys. Let's get the fire going. Rush the rest of the way. Apply the pressure. These are our musketeers, so we will be taking fire from them until we can get set and return fire. There we go. I'm going to bring my dragoons out, so maybe we can come up on their flank. And we're going to bring the dragoons straight down on this flank now from this side. Rattle those musketeers. And they've got a waver with that. Yep, let's take our dragoons back again so we can do that again somewhere else. They're forming square formation here, so we don't want to stick around. These guys are kind of in the back, so we're going to keep up the pressure, leapfrogging forward where we can. Let's run now, guys, because we got them struggling against us. It looks like everybody's pretty much on the run. We're going to bring our dragoons in here, running through them all, hopefully disrupting them so that they don't all reform and come back to battle. And this is our last regiment that's breaking, about to break, as soon as these guys set especially. And as far as I know, that may be the end. They're about to fold here. And because this is not a city battle, I'm going to start running our cavalry into it. Try and do as, deal out as many casualties as we can, because they are able to retreat from this port battle. And there is it. So I'm going to run down as many as I can, and we'll come back when we find out what kind of victory we have. All right, we ended up with a close victory. Actually, they ended up not being very far from the exit zone, so I'm sure a number of them did get away, but we did a little bit of hurt on them. All right, we lost 664 to their 2644, so they do escape with a little over 1,100 in a force not too threatening with what we have in the area. All right, and we actually can move our... We should be able to move now our force into the port, yes, and do some damage on the port as opposed to just blockading. And that's it. We got more to do, but that's for future episodes. This one is done. We got a few battles over here in India to round out our destruction of Spain. I'm happy with that now that we're back under control in Europe. We just got to work and hopefully get an income back so we can continue proceeding and moving forward. So this is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. What would you do to get the trade back going? You have anything you have done on your own playthroughs that have helped you in this kind of a situation? We'll see if we can't figure it out to get our income back, because we are trade reliant. And let's see if we can get that done next time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all next time. Thanks.